Hiya. So I was chatting with one of my Daring and Mighty Love coaching clients yesterday, and a subject that came up, which is coming up a lot with a lot of women I'm speaking to at the moment, and I'm sure you're having these similar conversations, and perhaps you can relate. This idea of kind of coming out of lockdown, if that's what we're doing, and there's even some confusion around that, right? Our kids are all going back to school, and we're kind of being encouraged to go back to work as normal with obviously some, certain precautions and protections in place. And what it's bringing up and what it brought up for this particular client yesterday is it's a little bit of a sense of even like an agoraphobia of just a slight fear of going out in the world again, because we've been for the last 6 months, pretty isolated. This woman, because she is living on her own, has been particularly isolated. She's been in lockdown on her own in her flat, and so that's had its own other levels of difficulty. And so the adjustment to going back into life as normal feels even more difficult for her. And there was the natural kind of fear and anxiety coming up around being out in public again. And what really came through was this piece. I speak about it a lot in my coaching practice around minding your own business, particularly when I'm working with women who are overcoming kind of codependency and that sabotaging pattern of behavior of people pleasing. A really great mantra, and one we can use with humor, is, I'm learning to mind my own business. I'm learning to kind of stay in my lane, to focus on me, to be there for me, take care of me, and make me my priority. And, what I know for sure is everything's energy. And as we protect our own energy and as we become our own best friends, really deeply know and love ourselves and can really be there for ourselves, we are therefore better in terms of taking care of the people that we love most, really being there in a better way for our clients. We have greater capacity, we have more patience, we have more love to give. There's like an overflow if we can be there for ourselves first. So learning to mind your own business is a really crucial part of that. And there's a lot being said. For example, and this came up in our conversation yesterday, there's a lot being said about mask wearing. I'm not going to get into the politics of mask wearing here and now. But, one of the arguments to wear a mask is around that's how you're loving other people. Like, that's your social responsibility to take care of others, to love others, is to wear a mask. Like, I'm not saying that's true or false, right or wrong. Zero judgment on that right now. I'm still personally figuring it out for myself. But that's one piece that's being said. And so for this woman I was speaking with yesterday, she's like, I get on the train and I'm being a good girl and I'm doing the right things and I'm following the guidance, and I see people without masks, or I see somebody only put the mask on when the conductor walks down the train, when he's gone to take it off again. And she's like, it makes me livid. It makes me so angry and cross that I'm doing my right thing. And I totally hear her. And maybe you're having similar experiences, and we're all coming at this from different angles. And I don't have the answers. I don't have the COVID crystal ball. I wish I did. What I know for sure, though, is we can't control anything outside of ourselves, which is where this mind your own business comes into play. We have zero control over anything beyond ourselves. And so when we're feeling, or if you're feeling scared or anxious or panicky around being out and about in the world and in public, and noticing how other people are behaving and whether they're doing what you think they should be doing or what you think is right or wrong, pushing all of that to one side, my invitation, in order to take your power back, to be there for you, is to mind your own business and check in with you. And as long as you are doing what you feel is good and true and right in your heart, as long as you are feeling fully aligned with how you're showing up in the world, how you're showing up for yourself, Like, that's all that we can have control over, and that's where we take our power back. And we have zero control over anything except for this very moment, this very present moment, right? Like, this is something a lot of us have been learning big time throughout the whole lockdown. Any fear and worry and anxiety that's been coming up for us, a lot of us have been learning that we don't have control except for this present moment, here and now, me breathing, feeling my feet attached to the earth. Like, that's literally the only certainty that we have. So learning to know and love ourselves and really be there for ourselves and be our own best friend and have our own back, and to such a degree that we know that we are in alignment with the truth of who we are, and so therefore we can trust ourselves. Like, if that is our sole focus, it takes the pressure off somewhat, and we can allow ourselves to exist in the world and move about in our own little bubble, knowing that we're doing our best. You know, I am doing my best. You're doing your best. And what anybody else is doing is their business. And our judgment on it is only going to probably create some level of disharmony within ourselves, some level of anxiety or dis-ease within ourselves. So I guess my message today is to mind your own business, said with love, because it's all we have control over. Yeah, it's all we have control over. And yeah, that's the message for today. Okay, I could go on, but I won't. Mind your own business. I love you. Good luck out there. Yeah, here's to you knowing and loving yourself more deeply. That's how we take our power back. Mwah. See ya.